So Qantas has just announced major changes to its frequent flyer program, launching the new Classic Plus flight rewards. One of the biggest complaints that Qantas members had was that oftentimes when they tried to search for reward flights, there was never any availability, especially when it came to premium cabin classes. But the changes to the Qantas frequent flyer program will mean that Qantas members will have a new way to use their Qantas points to book reward flights. And this will mean more than 20 million new reward seats made available. For reference, there are 5 million classic reward seats available each year, meaning there's now 4 times as many reward flights that you can possibly book. So in this video, we're going to be unpacking everything that you need to know about the new Classic Plus flight rewards. Starting with an overview. So before the introduction of the Classic Plus flight rewards, if you wanted to book a flight using your points, you could either book a classic reward flight where the number of points required to redeem that flight was fixed, or you could book it via a points plus pay option, which allowed you to redeem your Qantas points for that flight plus cash on top. Now, the introduction of the Classic Plus flight reward is designed to sit in between these two reward flights, aimed at improving availability of reward flights whilst also providing more value for the amount of Qantas points required to book that flight, especially when we compare it to the points plus pay option. The new Classic Plus flight rewards are dynamically priced, meaning the number of points required to book a flight will vary based on how much that flight costs from a cash price perspective. This does present some pretty good opportunities when there's sale fairs going on at Qantas, which we'll cover later on in the video. Another thing to note about the Classic Plus flight rewards is that they can't be redeemed on flights with Jetstar or any one of Qantas's 45 partner airlines. They're only available to be booked on Qantas operated flights. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on with regards to this new change is that one of the common complaints with regards to the classic reward seats was that higher status frequent flyer members such as those in silver, gold or platinum always had advanced access to those reward flights, meaning that by the time that they were made available to bronze members like myself, oftentimes the best flights would all be booked out, especially in premium cabin classes like business class. The great thing about the Classic Plus reward seats is that they will all be released 353 days in advance of the travel date, regardless of your frequent flyer status. Alright, so now we have a pretty good understanding of Classic Plus flight rewards. I guess the next question is, how much value can we expect to get from our Qantas points when we redeem one of these new flights? So the value that you can expect to get from a Classic Plus flight reward sits in between a points plus pay option and the Classic flight reward. For a points plus pay flight, you can usually redeem your points for around 0.6 cents per point, whereas with a Classic flight reward, you can easily get up to 3 cents per point, especially with a business or first class reward flight. For economy, with a Classic Plus flight reward, the value that you'll receive for each Qantas point is fixed at 1 cent per point, whilst with premium economy and business class, it's fixed at 1.5 cents per point. Classic Plus redemptions are also subject to the same taxes and fees as Classic flight rewards. However, these costs have been factored into the overall points cost, giving you the published 1 cent or 1.5 cents per point. To give a realistic example of the differences in value, let's look for a one-way business class from Sydney to Tokyo departing in November. Now, if we were to pay for this ticket in cash, it would cost us $4,398 one way. On the other hand, if we book this via a Classic reward flight, it would cost us 82,000 Qantas points plus around $206 on taxes on top. In order to calculate the value for our Qantas points, we will take the cash price minus the $206 in taxes and fees, and then divide by the 82,000 Qantas points, which gives us a total value of 5.1 cents per point, which is obviously awesome value that we're getting for our Qantas points when redeeming this flight. On the other hand, for a Classic Plus flight reward, it would cost us $272,500 500 points plus around $311 in taxes. If we do that same calculation again and take the cash price minus the $311 in taxes and then divide by the total amount of Qantas points required, this gives us 1.5 cents per point. So in this instance, the classic reward flight is giving us more than 3 times as much value as the classic plus flight. But if we compare this to the points plus pay option, even if I were to use up all of my current Qantas points, which is at around about 280,000, I would still have to pay an additional $2,700 in cash in order to book this flight. So Classic Plus definitely doesn't give us as much value as a Classic Reward flight, but is significantly better than a points plus pay option, which I guess is what Qantas was aiming for with this new change. Now, if you're interested in staying up to date with the latest updates with frequent flyer programs, the latest credit card offers, or just general topics around money, make sure to check out my free newsletter down in the description. I post once a week and it's completely free to join, so you can unsubscribe at any time. So if you are interested in taking advantage of these Classic Plus flights, how do you go about booking them? Well, thankfully, Qantas has made searching for Classic Reward and Classic Plus flights much more easier and intuitive. Once you've logged into your Qantas account, simply search for your flights as you normally would, making sure you toggle on the rewards button at the top left-hand corner. When it comes time to selecting dates, Qantas have updated their calendar view to show you the type of reward flights available on each date between a Classic Reward flight and a Classic Plus flight. When you see a date that has a Classic Reward flight ribbon, that means that at least one flight on that particular day can be redeemed via Classic Rewards. Once we've selected our dates, Qantas have once again made it very easy to see which flights are Classic Plus and Classic Rewards. Qantas used to show their points plus pay option first, which was a terrible user experience because oftentimes this meant that people who didn't know how to navigate Qantas might have inadvertently booked a points plus pay option, which is obviously terrible value. So the new search function is definitely a significant improvement from Qantas. So when should you actually book a Classic Plus flight reward? Well, I think Classic Plus flights are definitely not targeted at point hackers or flight hackers who are looking to maximize value from their frequent flyer points, as Classic Rewards are almost always going to provide you with more value than the Classic Plus flight reward. Rather, I think it's aimed at demographics like families who simply want to be able to use their Qantas points and redeem them for free flights and not have to constantly be searching every week to see if Qantas has released new Classic Reward flights. You can very easily now find Classic Plus flight rewards during peak holiday seasons like Christmas, which I think for a lot of families they will opt in for because it's pretty much next to impossible to find Classic Reward seats during those times anyway. For many families, school holidays and peak holiday seasons are the only time that they can travel anyway, so if you've got the points, why not use them? That said, if there is a particularly attractive sale going on at Qantas, because Classic Plus reward seats are dynamically priced, there may be some flights that you could book with Classic Plus that could provide greater value than a Classic Reward flight. So that's an overview of Qantas's new Classic Plus program. Let me know your thoughts on the new program. Do you think it's great? Do you think it's terrible? Or do you still think Qantas is a crappy airline in Australia? My thoughts are that being able to use your points at a reasonable rate on a flight that you otherwise would have booked anyway is a pretty good alternative, as opposed to always being disappointed that there's no Classic Reward flights available and then you just continue to accumulate Qantas points and never using them. Now, if you found today's video informative at all, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to more content like this in the future. And if you're interested in learning how you can pay less taxes and fees on your next Qantas reward flight, make sure you check out this video right here.